Hey guys, how are you? My cat decided to take this opportunity to come in and meow at me. Hare Krishna, my friend. What do we got from the Bhagavad Gita? Uh, Be me in my unmanifested form. This entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not part of the cosmic manifestation. For my very self, myself is the very source of creation. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, uh, verse 4 through 5. Hey, Buddha, how are you, my friend? Rajan, thank you so much. Highly, highly, deeply, deeply appreciate you being a member. Miss Flipper, how are you? Hey, Brian. I'm hoping that eventually um, my it can be sustained. My channel can be sustained by the memberships eventually. I don't even know how many members I actually have. Some, I can say I have some. Hey, Pam. Pam, how are you? Hey, Abby. Now we can start talking. We have our top mod in place, Abigail Carpenter, guys. What's up, Wheats? Hey, Stinkbug. Pam, how are you? Hi, Flora. Flora, my friend, how are you? What do you guys want to talk about today? Throw out a subject and we will address it. Kat, how are you? I'm going to try to get in an hour. I got some stuff that I want to do, need to do. Ms. Pippa says, Syncbug, I loved a definition for objective reality you once offered. Flora is on ads. Flora, I appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. Ms. Pippa says, I wish I could remember it word for word. Maybe Syncbug will offer it again in the chat. Maybe he'll type it out. We can copy and paste. Hey, Lee. Lee, how are you? So I was supposed to have a guest today. I was supposed to have Jack Miller, a Canadian friend, come up. Interesting guy. He is a student teacher of A Course in Miracles. He's a life coach, and he has also spent considerable time in India with some of the modern realized masters. One of them being Sai Baba. Sai Baba is known for performing miracles in front of people. However, Jack, does not have a cell phone. Did not realize that we were doing it by phone. So yesterday when we were talking and we realized that, we were just unable to make it work. I was hoping he could borrow one from a friend, but no one nearby. Cat says, hello, my sweet flower. I met your daughter this morning. Flora's son came on one of my videos and offered a thanks for supporting his mom. What a wonderful family. Speaks highly of Flora, that her kids love and support her so deeply. Parajat, how are you? Parajat, again, I want to thank you for becoming a member. Sickbook says, I'll give a definition to her. We had almost 3K views on my sleep stream. It was just a picture of a cheeseburger. Wow. Amazing. So yeah, anyway, Jack Miller cannot make it today. I haven't given up though. This evening, our friend Russell Johnson is making a return appearance. We're just going to chat. We're going to hang out. We're going to talk, of course, miracle stuff. Parajat says since last month. Yep, I just saw it came up right at the beginning of the chat that it was renewed for this month. So I just wanted to thank you again. Cass says I could do with some breath work. Also, a good check-in. All right, let's do breath work. Pam says, so good to see everyone. How are you feeling? Give me a direction in which to steer the breath work. He says, yeah, there's 3K views for me because there's a cheeseburger. I'm bound to turn up. My clones too. The problem is that Wheats' phone is now cracked because he kept looking at the cheeseburger and trying to grab it. His fingers kept hitting the screen. It's got tongue prints on it as he was licking it over and over again. So yeah, just give me a little bit of a direction to go with for the breath work. Abby says, how are you? To Lee, which is 100% facts, Yogi. I thought so. Let's do some heavy breath work. I often don't guide people in heavy breath work. It is very good for some things, but not really good for a lot of things. So I have a tendency to go gently and easy to get the desired results of self-care versus self-meditated. Noted I didn't say medicated, meditated. Abigail's doing awesome. Good, I'm glad to hear it. Sigwick said, I had a dream, it broke my screen too. Cheeseburgers. Any breath work is okay with me. I'm good right now, but I am slightly anxious in the background, if you know what I mean. You do know what you mean. So let's do the standard. We're only slightly anxious. Let's breathe in for 4. Note the retention. We're not going to hold it. We just want to note. And then we're going to exhale for 4. Note the retention and repeat. So that pretty much brings us to 5 and 5. 5 and 5, maybe slightly over, is considered the perfect breath. And the tradition that I teach in, it is water breathing, water category breathing. Water category means that it is, it can mix with anything. So if we're slightly anxious, brings us down. If we need a little bit of energy, it lifts us up. Sinkhook says, I've been struggling to breathe while I sleep. I've been asleep for a few hours. Do you sleep propped up, Sinkbug? Pam says, same here. All right, give me a thumbs up when you're ready. That's okay, Michael. Michael, I'm always glad just when you're here. Laura gives a thumbs up to Cat and Jack. All right, we get a thumbs up. Anyone who's going to participate, if you can, close your eyes. Hey, Todd. Take a breath in through the nose. Bring your shoulders up high. Take another breath in. Sigh through the mouth. Let your shoulders drop. almost forcibly, as if gravity just decided to get a little extra umph. Now bring some gentle attention to the breath, to the nose. Breathe in through the nose and notice. You can even say to yourself, breathing in through the nose, exhale, think to yourself, breathing out through the nose. Just 1 or 2 times, noting the breath. In and out. In through the nose and out. Bring that same attention down to your belly and notice that when you breathe in through the nose, your belly is gently expanding. And as you exhale through the nose, your belly gently falls back. Easily. No effort given to it. Watching the belly rise and fall. If you remember the Ujjayi breath, that is that gentle, as if we're snoring, the mouth is closed. We breathe in as if we're snoring, out through the nose. Listening to that sound. 1 or 2 more breaths, practicing making that ha sound. Just this breath alone, the ocean's breath, reduces anxiety considerably. The calming sound, the restriction of the throat, toning the vagal nerve, which is the nerve responsible for bringing us back to that restful state. On this next breath in, breathe through the nose for a count of 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose for 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4. And out for 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In for 2, 3, 4. And out, 2, 3, 4. Keep your eyes closed. Let the breath go, but continue breathing through the nose. Just sit calm and relaxed. Just for a moment. When you're ready, open your eyes, and I will see you back in the chat. Michael, my day's been pretty good. So here's a question about sleep. What are you doing to support? This is for whoever. What are you doing to support a good night's sleep? Do you have a sleep hygiene practice in place? Sleep hygiene begins the moment you open your eyes in the morning. You're welcome, Parajat, my friend. Kat says, I had a big yawn afterwards. Thanks, Yogi. That was super helpful. Kat, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate being able to um, get in some breath work. It's been a bit. That ujjayi breath, I can't tell you what a tool that has been for me, guiding me through some very, very deeply troublesome nights and days, for that matter. You're welcome, Pam. Floor is listening while cooking. Well, thank you. You'd be ever blessed, Yogi, forever young, though. Thank you, Perjat. Um, just that breath alone reduces anxiety, will help you get to sleep, will guide you through a bad night's sleep. I had a bit of a bad day yesterday, anxiety wise, and um, it took a bit of effort. But by the time I was, let me know if I'm frozen, guys. Am I, am I back? How did I look when I was frozen? When I was frozen, was I going like this? Was I frozen in a very dignified position? Was I like this? Wheat says, you look thought out to me. Thank you, Wheats. Wheats, looking thought out. You didn't blow on the camera. Try to unfreeze. Kat says, you look sweet and handsome. Is that what that says? I got to squint at the phone. I can't quite see it, but I'm pretty sure it says you look sweet and handsome. Todd says, you back? Pam says, you're back. You were frozen in a dignified. Thank you, Pam. Thank you. Persia says, you mastered the breath, so time did stop. Awesome. So I was talking about sleep hygiene. I was talking about, for one, that ujjayi breath that we practice. Any questions about that particular breath? Those who might not have been doing it. That is the lifeblood of anti-anxiety, anti-panic breathing. Just that breath alone, in no particular ratio, will help bring you. It tones the vagal nerve. The vagal nerve is responsible for taking us from fight or flight, the sympathetic state, to the parasympathetic, rest and digest. The problem is our vagal nerve is out of shape because doom scrolling, because being constantly bombarded by bad news. We used to be, we woke up in the morning, we collectively, humans, on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being absolute calm, deep, deep state of sleep or meditation, to 10, panic, fight or flight to the point where we are actually fighting or fleeing. And it used to be we'd wake up at a 1, we'd look around, maybe a 2, we'd look around, notice all was calm, and we would go back maybe to a 1 or even a 0, nice and calm, back to sleep. As we went through the day, ever watchful for saber-toothed tigers, we would maybe go up to a 4. If we saw something that startled us, we'd go to a 5 or 6, and then we'd go back down to a 2 or a 3 pretty quickly. You see that when you watch deer. A deer will spot something that it seems as a threat. It will run. It'll stop when it thinks it's safe. It'll look around, seeing or sensing no danger. It'll go back to eating, totally unconcerned. I keep life simple. We were the Flintstones hanging out with dinosaurs and saber-toothed tigers. Yep, we were a modern Stone Age family. Lived in the town of Red Rock. Nowadays, that's not the case. Nowadays, we wake up at a level 4, maybe even a level 5, ready to panic. We're late. We didn't sleep well. We got to get the kids to school. We got to face traffic. We got to take the dog out in the rain. Dog doesn't want to poop. Our paper is soggy. It's just a miserable day. And it's just a normal day. Nothing even special about it. Everyday misery. And we're just getting up. Level 4, maybe level 5. We get out in traffic. Now we're definitely at a level 5. If we don't get through traffic at a level 6, we're having a pretty good day. Our boss yells at us. There's deadlines, clients, whatever. We watch the news, we hear the news, people give us the news, and we're cruising along at a level 7. Not even realize it, because that's our normal state. We're hyped up on caffeine and bad news. Redlining on stress. Never taking the time to come back down. We just have more coffee, or we smoke a cigarette, or we self-medicate in some ways. Then we come home and we repeat the same stress with the family. We watch more news, we read the newspaper, we go to bed at a level 8. Is it any wonder that we're having problems sleeping? And we wake up and we repeat the cycle over and over and over again. Hey, Tree Stump, how are you? So what can you do about it? A sleep hygiene practice is an anti-stress practice. The greatest antidote for stress is a good night's sleep. The greatest antidote for a bad night's sleep is reducing our stress. Wake up early, earlier than you want to. Say thank you 3 times. Just be grateful. You woke up. That's not a promise. That's not guaranteed. Now, if you can meditate, awesome. If not, do some morning breath work. Morning breath work is generally rapid. Breath of fire or bellows breathing. This is the heavier breath that our friend Persia was asking for. This is what produces just the right amount of hormonal response. And if you get sunlight to the eyes for 5 minutes, even better. If you can do that heavier breath work and go outside and walk for 20 minutes, nasal breathing, so wake up, say thank you, do your breath work, get outside for a 20-minute walk, brisk. Doesn't have to be hard, just brisk. Nasal breathe, experience and appreciate nature. You might live in a city and think, I don't have any nature. Nature's everywhere. Nature is on a cement sidewalk in the middle of a city. If you see a single blade of grass poking through a crack, if you see an ant, if you see a robin fly by, if you have a single tree in your neighborhood, you have nature. If you have clouds floating by, if you have a sunbeam shining down, you are experiencing nature. Appreciate it. Because nature is made of fractal patterns. Fractal patterns have an immediate response on the eyes. So with the natural sunlight and the fractal patterns combined with the breath work, you are now producing neuroepinephrine and cortisol and adrenaline in just the right amounts to get you going for the day. Better than a cup of coffee, but you can still have a cup of coffee. Hey, Robert, just those things: breath work, natural sunlight, walking, and you're off to a great start. It doesn't have to be a long start. Here's the wonderful thing about walking in nature, especially with nasal breathing: you've turned it into a meditation. Thoughts will come, thoughts will go. Doesn't matter. The fractal patterns have immediate impact on the eyes. And the eyes, as they register it, don't even have to do anything. Your brain immediately starts going into the alpha brainwave state. Alpha brainwave state is the beginning of the meditative state. It's the place where, hey, Buddha, I'm. It's the beginning state for meditation as well as um, inspiration. So when you come home from your walk, if you could do something creative, short, write something down, write a poem, write a haiku, do some origami, play the harmonica, finger puppets, just something creative. Buddha said, going to send me the book, but I never said anything because I just went on to something else, which he thinks might help my anger. What did I miss, Buddha? Who's going to send you the book? And um, hey, Robert, which book? Which book are we talking about? Wilma was a redhead. So if you start your day like that, here's the wonderful thing. You might think, man, you're talking about producing stressor hormones. Is that good? I thought I wanted to reduce stress. You want just the right amount of stress to help you through the day. You want to be just enough fight or flight to get the job done, to navigate traffic. But you want to be able to go from that stress to no stress, stress to no stress. Rita says, Course of Miracles. It was a while back. Sorry on myself. So who was going to send it to you, Buddha? So there is a free version of it. You know, I mentioned this before. There's a free online version of it. Also, if you write to the Foundation for Inner Peace, I believe they have a sort of like gifting fund where they will gift you the book. I'm pretty sure. On the road with my mom, see my message above. I hear you, kitty. I see all the way above. Come Park says, not this Gen X tryhard. You don't know how happy that makes me feel that you called me Gen X. I am Gen X. I'm first generation Gen X, and I really appreciate that. I'm definitely not a baby boomer. So, Buddha, I don't see anything above, but I don't want you to worry about it while you're driving with your. So when you get a chance, let me know. I will help you get a copy of Course in Miracles, and I will help guide you, and it will definitely help with your anger. Oh, son of Robert. You don't know why my cat is fussing with me right now. Let's see if I can find it. Don't see it, but I will help. I will help get you a copy of A Course in Miracles. Buddha says, thank you, appreciate you a lot. And okay, I will talk to you when you get home. Thank you. Thank you, Buddha. Thank you for everything. Rajesh says, I'm very grateful for my friend and yogi over here. It actually did change my life. I'm grateful for you, Parajat, the breath work. So let's get back to breath work. We did a morning breath work. We took a walk. You can modify this as needed. Um, course of the day, in the afternoon, this is when you want to do that water breathing. Unless you find yourself extremely stressed out, then you would go into the whiskey breathing. Remember, water is neutral, so it can lift you up and it can bring you down. That is an even breath. Breathing in for 4, exhaling for 4. Or the annulum vilum, alternate nostril breathing, but without the breath hold. Breathe in for 4, exhale for 4. Breathe in for 4, exhale for 4. Do that for 10 rounds. In, out, 1 round. If you want to turn that into a whiskey category breathing, whiskey means it really, really brings you into that deep, deep relaxation. Then introduce a breath hold. Breathe in for 4, retain, exhale for 4. Breathe in for 4, retain, exhale. When you can work up to breathing in for 4, holding, here's the progression. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, repeat, opposite nose. Breathe in for 4, hold for 8, exhale for 8, repeat. Breathe in for 4, hold for 12, exhale for 8. Breathe in for 4, hold for 16, exhale for 8. When you're doing 4, 16, and 4, that's a 24-second breath. That means you're breathing a little over 2 breaths per minute, which means you've slowed your heart rate down to that of a turtle, our spirit guide, the most relaxed species ever. Have you ever seen an upset turtle? Maybe a snapping turtle, but that doesn't last long. And are they really, really, they're not stressed. They're just doing their snapping turtle stuff. Flora says ads running. Thank you, Flora. So that can also be your sleep pattern. When you go to sleep, you want to elongate the exhale. When you're deeply stressed, elongate the exhale. Breathe in for 4, exhale for 8. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. That's box breathing. 416. Abby says, I appreciate you guys. We appreciate you too. You too, Abigail. And of course, meditation. So I've talked a lot about doing stuff during the day. How is this going to help me sleep? How you wake up, how you go about the day is all of it is preparing you to sleep. When you create those optimal chemical stressor hormones in the morning, those hormones die off in the course of the day. And as they die off, their leftover material, the raw material that's left over, your body uses that material to manufacture serotonin and melatonin, the 2 things you need for a good night's sleep. The sunlight, the breath, all produce the norepinephrines, the adrenaline, and the cortisol, which makes melatonin and serotonin later in the day. No stressor hormones in the morning, less melatonin, serotonin in the evening. I'm glad you're happy. Abby, Easter is right around the corner. Just like a week or so away, 2 weeks away. Lady Sky was here. She would let us know exactly how far away it is. So part of the sleep hygiene, breath work in the evening, designated breath work in the evening. Don't go to bed without doing breath work. You can even lay on your back as you're going to sleep and do some breath work. Prepare for sleep. Shut everything down. I know you're like, but I want to stay up and listen to Yogi. I say the same stuff every day, guys. You're not going to miss anything. Turn the TV down. Turn the computer screen off. Put your phone aside. Don't get any blue light to the eyes an hour before bed. Have at least, I would have said an hour, but after talking to Dr. Sheila Patel, who's a sleep expert and who was a guest on the show, who had a best-selling book called Awake and Sleep, she says 3 hours. I think you could get by with 2 hours. Don't eat before bed. Don't eat before bed. If you needed a snack, eat a small handful of nuts or a cracker. I don't think you're really going to need a snack. But, Dougie Doug, how are you, my friend? 2 weeks away. Awesome. Antonia, how are you, my friend? It takes an enormous amount of energy to digest food, and we eat a lot. And we eat heavy meals most of the time, especially dinner. And we eat dinner very close to bed, which means that we're going to be digesting, which means we're going to be producing energy, which means we're going to have a hard time sleeping. Sleep slightly elevated. It will help you breathe better. And there you go. The sleep hygiene plan. Oh, let's throw one more thing in. Since you've turned off the phone, since you've turned off the computer, what are you going to do? Lie there? Just lie there? Nope. Pick up a book and read. You remember reading? Um, but read a heavy book that you don't particularly want to read. By heavy, I don't necessarily mean it weighs a lot. I mean it's a weighty subject that inspires you. Read the Bible, read the Bhagavad Gita, read the Upanishads, the Dhammapada, the Zohar, read A Course in Miracles, read something that, especially something you've been reading for a lifetime. Your brain's familiar with it, but you're planting seeds. One thing, it slows the brain down. It prepares the brain to go to sleep. Secondly, you're planting seeds, sankalpa, as it's called in Sanskrit. These are intents, so that what you read, you take into your subconscious mind as you sleep, and through the course of the day, you begin to act upon the things that you have read. You can have a sleep mantra. I'm going to make a short of Dr. Sheila Patel and the sleep mantra that she offers, and I'll be doing that in the next couple of days. Pam says, okay, reading inspirational material. Yeah, I could have just said inspirational material, but I have an hour to fill. So I'm using a lot of words. Dougie says, I read books about the mafia, which is good because it's an interest to you. However, you don't want a page turner when you go to sleep because it keeps you turning pages. You want something where you go, man, this is making me tired. Perfect. That's what you want. Now, our friend Buddha was talking about anger. Imagine if you read over and over the prayer of St. Francis. I love this prayer. And it's a beautiful way to do passage meditation, which we can learn how to do it right now if anyone wants. I will teach you how to do passage meditation. Give me the thumbs up, and we'll do it. But let's start with the prayer of St. Francis. Imagine if you read this before you go to bed. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me so love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, it is in dying to self that we are born to eternal life. Now, way back in the late 1980s, I wanted to learn serious meditation. I was doing some yogic meditation that I'd read about. I had done some guided meditation from popular tapes at the time, but none of that felt like real meditation. I looked up transcendental meditation. It cost a fortune, and this was in 1988, 87, 88. I couldn't afford it, and I had to find a school that taught it, or a person who taught it. There was Buddhist groups, but they were far away. They were in Baltimore. I didn't have a car to get there at that time. Did have a car, but I did not want to drive to the city. Didn't have a reliable car, put it that way. Every book that I read about meditation would offer all the wonderful benefits of meditation, and then at the end it would say, well, now go find a teacher. You need a reliable teacher. One day I came across a book called Meditation by Egnath who was a Indian teacher who was now teaching in Berkeley, California. He taught English literature. He was in the United States in the Fulbright Scholarship. After his classes, he started teaching the Bhagavad Gita and his method of meditation that he called passive meditation. The difference with this book, which is still in print, the other day I just put an Amazon link on my page, but it was interesting. It began with, I suppose you bought this book on meditation because you want to learn how to meditate. Very well then, let's begin. This is how you meditate. Right at the beginning of the book, he taught you how to meditate. Now, Egnath would surmise that you become what you meditate upon. All day we're meditating on something, our anger, our lack of focus, our stress, whatever. We're meditating on the things that we don't want, and we become the things that we don't want. So let's switch that around. Passage meditation is taking a spiritual passage that resonates with you. It can be from any tradition, but as Warren recommends, starting with the prayer of St. Francis, because if you become what you meditate upon, how about becoming an instrument of peace and sowing love wherever you go, forgiving, where people are in doubt, be able to give them faith. When they're in despair, you can give them hope. When they're in darkness, you can give them light. You can do all that for yourself. When you are sad, you can provide your own joy. Now, that second passage where he says, "O Divine Master," he is not supplicating to a great master in the sky that is distant and far away. He's talking about the divine master that resides within. We can call the Holy Spirit, the Tao, our connection to God, the voice for God, whatever you want to call. So this is how we do it. Once a day. You can start with 10 minutes. If you can work up to half an hour, awesome. But don't worry about it. Don't stress over de-stressifying. Sit with your back straight, but not rigid. Relaxed. Hands wherever you want your hands to be. In your lap. You can put it in a mood. Or just let them rest easily on your knees, on your thighs. Palms up, palms down. None of it matters. Close your eyes. Notice that you're breathing. That's it. Notice that you're breathing. Now you want to memorize this prayer. Any prayer that you work with, any spiritual passage. And you want an old spiritual passage that has stood the test of time. People have been meditating and praying on this prayer for 1,000 years, 1,200 years. So it has an energy to it. Even if you cut this prayer out and you carried it with you, you would benefit from its energy. That's how powerful it is. And you begin thinking slowly, one word at a time. A few you can string together, but you want enough space so it feels like you're dropping a pebble into a very still pool of water. And you watch that little pebble, you watch the ripples go outwards. That's what happens when you enter each of those words into your subconscious mind. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. This is going to be personal to speed. You just want to know to go slow, but enough space so that they still make sense next to each other. That's why you string a few of them together. You'll be able to get the pace of that like that. Your mind's going to wander, as it always does, anytime in any form of meditation. That's okay. That's part of meditation. The mind wanders, you bring it back. You're teaching yourself patience. You're teaching yourself kindness. You're teaching yourself the art of returning with love and with care to the object you put your attention upon. As the mind wanders, you bring it back to where you left off. Now, if your mind wanders all the way in left field, if you go completely off track, you don't even remember that you're meditating, bring it back to the top of the prayer and start over again, gently, easily, patiently, and kindly. When you get to the end, if you still have time, go back to the beginning. Eventually, when you get to the end and you still have time, you can introduce another prayer, another spiritual passage into the mix. But for now, keep it at the prayer of St. Francis. When you are done, sit for a moment before you get up. Let everything rest just for a moment, and then get up and start your day. And you're going to carry that meditation for the rest of the day. In 21 days, 30 days max, you'll be a different person. You will be more patient, you'll be more kind, you'll be less angry. Your stress will decrease. You'll breathe easier. Your blood pressure will be reduced. You'll get a raise at work. That girl and that boy that you secretly liked, but you never in 1,000 years would imagine that they would talk to you, will now literally ask you to marry them. They will be your boyfriend and girlfriend. You will receive a bonus at work. You probably get a promotion. You're, I don't know, someone's going to buy you a car. I'm making a promise that this will happen. I'm giving you a money back for this lesson, meditation lesson. I am offering you a money back guarantee that all of this will happen and more. So, did I see Hammer? Is this Hammer? Is this Michael? Dougie says, Yogi, you familiar with Dr. Bernard? He started a yoga retreat in New York back in the 40s and 50s. I am vaguely familiar. I love spiritual books too, Buddha. Hey, Vita Goddess, how are you? Hammer, how are you? So all this also leads to, you're welcome, Pam, to what Ignatius Horn calls um, his 8-point program. Very similar to the 8 branches of yoga, very similar to the 8 branches of Buddhism. I will read you the 8-point program. It's a beautiful practice. Most people, a lot of people say, I'm spiritual. I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. But do you have a spiritual practice? Meaning, this is what you do day in, day out. This is what I love about my yoga practice. This is what I love about Course in Miracles. This is what I loved about the, it's the Blue Mountain Center of Meditation. Eknath Swarn, who's no longer with us, he passed away in 99, I believe. So here's 8 points. Meditation on a passage. That's what we just covered. Repetition of a mantra. A mantra is different than a mantra. A mantra, generally speaking, is doesn't have meaning. You're relying on the vibration to help you reach a more subtle level of consciousness. A mantra is the holy name of God, or something that has meaning, great meaning for you. So an example would be Holy Mary, Mother of God, Jesus Christ, Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva, Allah. You pick one that works for you, and you say it as often as possible. As often as possible. You're invoking the presence of God through the holy name as much as possible. Let me read what a friend Hammer had to say. Hammer says, it's me. I just got back from physical therapy. Your brother said that you were going to be in physical therapy. He told me today, if no setbacks, I should be done with the wheelchair in 2 weeks or less. No, it's me. Eldon doesn't come in until 6. Gotcha. Hammer, thank you for coming in. Thank you for the news. And thank you, God, for the recovery of our friend Hammer. Harvey, that's the greatest thing I've heard all day, all week, maybe all year. Hey, Anna Marie. How are you, my friend? Hey, Sniper. Rita Goddess says, this prayer helps a lot with living in a state of non-judgment. Thank you. It does. It does. Kat says, that's great news, Hammer. It sure is. Pam says, wonderful news, Hammer. Hey, Hammer, our prayers continue. You have been in my prayers. You've been in our prayers. So that's the mantra. The third and 8-point program is slowing down. Don't be in such a hurry. Practice mindful breathing. Practice the sacred pause. Before you enter into your office, before you enter into the kitchen, before you prepare a meal, before you eat, just pause for a second. And that's the perfect time to say the mantra. You're literally blessing your food. Prasad, I believe it's called in Sanskrit. Blessing your food as you prepare it. Slowing down. Imagine if before you went into a live stream, you paused and you made a decision of how you would like to enter. Are you going to go in and announce your presence? Look at me. Are you going to come in gently, invoking a state of peace, providing a presence, offering love? Slow down. One pointed attention. That's what we're doing with the meditation. We're learning how to be concentrated. Pay attention to one thing at a time, even if it's just for a moment. Training the senses, number 5. Meaning, cultivate trying things you might not like to eat. Kat is probably saying, well, Yogi, do you practice that? And my response is, Kat, we're not talking about me. We're talking about other people. 6, putting others first. Putting others first. I love 6. I love 6. Nothing, this is everything that has to do with the Course in Miracles. Putting others first. We might think, well, then aren't we going to be taken advantage of? Nope, you won't be. If you're putting others first, why would it mean that you would let someone harm you if you put someone else first? We think that's so. We believe it's so, but it isn't so. Doesn't mean not being kind to yourself, not caring for yourself. 7, spiritual fellowship. That's what we're doing here. We are providing each other spiritual fellowship. You guys provide it for me. You provide it for each other. I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. The last one, spiritual reading. Now, here's the thing with spiritual reading, not just self help books, not just spiritual books, but spiritual reading means reading from the holy text. Pick up the Bible, pick up Course in Miracles, pick up the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, the Dhammapada, pick up the Quran, whatever holy text, and branch out, read different ones. Read the mystics, Christian mystics and the Sufi mystics. That's 8-point program. Well, I almost made it an hour, I guess. Anna Marie says, "Hey, Miss Yogi, have you heard the tale of the name of Yahweh?" I've I've heard the name Yahweh, but I haven't heard the tale of the name of Yahweh. That sounds interesting, Anna Marie. Prayer says, "Hey, Yogi, breathwork has been helpful in sexual transmutation. Are you breathing with someone? Are we talking about subjugating the sexual urges?" Anna Marie says, "The story of the name Yahweh, when said correctly, is the sound." Oh, I have heard of that. Yes, yes. So the name of Yahweh every time you breathe. So you say the name of God. And that is true with other holy names as well. Todd says, "Thanks, Yogi. This was very helpful and informative for me. Got to go to my mom's. Have a good day, everyone. Hammer, amazing work. Best wishes. Thinking well wishes and thoughts for you." Thank you, Todd. Thank you for all of that. Pepper says the Septuagint. Guys, in just a minute or two, we're going to thank you, Buddha. Pack things up for the afternoon. And again, we're going to be with who we're going to be with tonight. I'm losing track. We're going to be with Russell Johnson, our good friend Russell, and he's going to come by and hang out. We're going to talk all things Course in Miracles, but very relaxed. You know, Russell came on as a guest. He was my first guest last week. Wonderful guest. He came again in the afternoon. We had a great phone conversation midweek as well. Russell, in a very short time, has become a spiritual friend, and just a friend that you think you wouldn't mind hanging out with and having a cup of coffee. But tonight, I think it's just going to be, maybe we'll field questions. We'll talk about our own individual path to the course. It's going to be a very relaxed hangout. Rita says, "I got 20 more new accounts. You should hit 10K soon." Wow. Thank you, Buddha. Let alone 9.55. I want to make sure connecting all that aren't. Buddha, you are one of a kind. I was reading in that 8-point program, putting others first. Buddha shows you how to do it. Here's the thing. When you see someone purposely putting others first, make sure you help elevate them as well. Remember, Buddha gives so much support, but she's got a very important channel where she does breath work, she does qigong, She does burpees. She will help guide you through burpees. Um, she also, again, supports everyone in so many different and diverse communities. She's a full-time YouTuber. Make sure you get over there, watch her videos, give some support, share her out, leave a kind comment on her shorts. She's putting some beautiful morning motivation, inspirational videos every morning. Beautiful voiceover, giving blessing to the day. So, very often you hear people say, I support people who support me. Buddha supports people. I've never heard Buddha say, I support people who support me. Buddha supports people. If she thinks that she can help you, she will help you. That is selflessness in action. That's how to do it. That's someone with a beautiful heart, kindness of a soul. Hey, crochet lover, how are you? Anna says, Zivya lives with Yogi and the community here. I may not always comment, but being here brings me such peace and has helped me through so much. Thank you all. Thank you, Anna. Anna Marie. Lady Sky says, out doing errands. Sorry I can't chat. That's okay, Lady Sky. I appreciate you checking in. And your shorts, they always pop up when I need them most. I am off to go make some shorts now. I don't need to. I got enough stocked up probably to last me for a month. Uh, but I just like making them. I did not know that Stitch was crochet lover. Stitch, my friend, how are you? When I was young, my mom, my sisters, all my aunts and uncles, they would knit. They would do needlepoint. They would actually make quilts, and they would needlepoint. They would do crochet. They tried to teach me how to crochet, and I remember making a placemat and little like coffee holder thing. And then because it was small, it wasn't really a placemat. It was just a coffee mat. And then the next time around, my mom was like, "So you gonna try something new?" And I was like, "Nope, making a placemat." And then after like a month, they were like, "So you're gonna do some advanced stuff? You've been doing this for a while?" Nope, placemat. It's all I made. Crochet Lover says, "You can still call me Stitch. You're always gonna be Stitch to me." I'm doing good, Stitch. I am doing good. How are you? We're just about to end the live stream. I'm glad I waited though. Got a chance to say hi to you. One of my favorite people in the world. Laura says hi to Stitch. A while back, several months ago, Stitch and our good friend Duncan Walsh did me the kindest favor in the world. They collaborated together. Stitch wanted to get in shape. She wanted to go on a little bit of a diet and start working out. And Duncan said, Duncan Walsh Fitness Motivation, one of the best, said, "Hey Stitch, if you follow this diet, I forget how long did he say it for? This was way back in July, I think June. So it was leading up to the 4th of July. So it was in June. I will pay Eric $100, and if you do these workouts, I will give you $5 for every workout, every week of working out. I think it was." And Stitch said, "I will do that for Eric." Stitch made me, I believe it was 100. I think it was $135, maybe 140. You're welcome, Stitch. Hey, you got plenty of time, Stitch. You got a whole month to study. You're gonna do fine. All right, guys, let me wrap things up just for this afternoon. We'll be back again, Russell Johnson, but it's going to be very relaxed. So feel free to come by, ask questions. We'll be having a conversation. Anna said, I need to do the same, getting in shape. That is because I'm so skinny. I put a muscle in my chest, picking up my 2-year-old incorrectly this past weekend. Hey, Duncan Walsh Fitness Motivation has excellent plans, all body weight stuff to get in shape. Stitch is still doing the workouts. Awesome, Stitch. We're not too far away from a year. So, guys, thanks for hanging out with me, listening to me, putting up with me. I'll see everyone at 5:25. Since I have a guest, I'll be on time. I love you all. And it says, can you send me his name on Facebook Messenger so I can look him up? Yes. And let me put it real quick here. Hey, Eric LaPointe. Eric says, another great live. Thanks, Eric. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Eric LaPointe has turned into one of my all-time favorite YouTubers. Bye, Stitch. So Duncan Walsh, Fitness Motivation. Oh, hey, he's also featured on my homepage. If you go over and check him out, as is Buddha, as is Cat and Jack, and Toy Pops, and Eric LaPointe. Hey, OG, just a yogi. All right, guys, love you all. Take care.